Hey everybody, my name is Daria, and today I'm going to be showing you how I got this look. I used the Sephora palette. It's called More Than Meets the Eye. I think it's like considered the holiday palette, but I've used it for at least a month now and tried out different looks, and I gotta say I love it. The colors are very pigmented and they have a wide variety of shades from mattes and like sparkly and more glittery ones, so you definitely have a wide variety of different looks you can get with it. I definitely recommend if anyone's thinking about purchasing it. It's definitely worth the bucks. Oh, why did I say that? It's definitely worth the money. I've already washed and prepped my face. The first thing I'm going to apply is my primer. I'm going to use my Baby Skin Maybelline Pore Eraser. And I'm only going to apply it around my cheeks. For the next step, I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible Foundation. I'm in the shade Soft Ivory. I'm going to use my Beauty Blender. It's by Real Techniques, and apply it all over my face. For the next step, I'm going to use my e.l.f. translucent powder to set my under eye and other areas that I'm not going to apply any other product at. I'm going to be moving on to my eyeshadow. I'm going to be using my Sephora More Than Meets the Eye palette. And I'm just going to be using a fluffy blending brush. And I'm going to be applying this color right over my entire lid. For the next shade, I'm going to be using number 6. And for this color, I'm going to be using a fluffy, more angled brush. For this color, I'm going to be applying it in my crease, but also blending it out. For this shadow, I'm kind of dragging it down halfway towards the center of my eye, but not all the way. That way it looks like it fades into my eye. For the next shade, I'm going to be going back into the palette and taking number 5 and using the same brush, applying it in the center of the lid where the crease is. So kind of blending the previous color and concentrating it mainly in the center of the crease. And I'm also making sure the crease is not sharp and blending it out into the lid. The next shade, I'm going to be taking number 19 and using a more flatter, fluffy brush as well. And for this color, I'm going to be applying it right in the corner and tapping it off, making sure it blends in with the other shade. I'm also going to be applying a little bit of that color right above the tear duct. That way, whenever we put the highlight on the tear duct, it really emphasizes that. Using the same brush, I'm going to be taking number 12. With this color, I'm going to be applying it more farther back towards the crease. You also want to kind of apply it in like a imaginary triangle. The base of the triangle being where your lashes are, and the tip being like your crease. And you want to kind of tap the product instead of like blending it, because if you blend it, you might kind of take off some of the shade underneath. Now taking another fluffy brush into number 13 and applying this product right in the center of my lid. And you also want to kind of tap it off, and while you tap it, you want to kind of lightly blend it in to the other shades. But you don't want to go up too far, just very lightly. Taking the same shade, I'm going to highlight my brow bone. Now going back to number 5, that mahogany red color, and using a more flatter brush, I'm going to be applying it on my lower lash. However, not my entire lash, just the really edge of it, and blending it out. That way it kind of disappears going towards my tear duct. With the same brush, I'm going to grab a little bit of number 30, applying it right only in the corner. That way it blends very well with the corner of the upper crease. Now taking a clean brush, I'm going to blend out my lower lid, making sure the color nicely fades into the rest of my face. Now using that same brush, I'm going to take number 1 and 2, these upper colors, wherever they are, right here. And I'm going to apply them around my tear duct. And on my bottom lash, I'm going to stretch some of it going towards the center, but not all the way, just 1/4 of the way through. Adding that light shimmery shade into your tear duct really opens up your eyes and makes you look bright and awake, just very flattering for the eye. I'm also going to take a little bit of number 1, that shimmery shade, and applying it right under my brow. This kind of gives it a little light glow. Now moving on to our brows. I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills brow wax, using a very thin defined brush, and I always start in my crease, go out, and then fill in the center. Next, I'm going to take my spoolie and brush out my eyebrows. To set my brows, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper. For the next step, I'm going to be applying mascara using my Maybelline Last Sensational. And I'm first going to apply my upper lashes and then go back to my bottom. For the next step, I'm going to be applying my false lashes. I'm going to be using the individual trio lashes by Kiss. I'm going to start applying them from outer, center, middle, and then filling in whatever thickness I want them to be. For the lash glue, I'm going to be using my Duo in the shade Dark. Next, I'm going to be applying my eyeliner in my waterline using my Urban Decay waterproof eyeliner in the shade Walk of Shame. For the next step, we're going to move on to our contour. I'm going to use my NYX palette, and I'm going to be using this lightest shade right over here. For the contour brush, I'm going to be using this fluffy angled brush. I love this brush because it's really comfortable when you're trying to get that upward angle. I'm going to be starting towards my upper ear and letting the shade fade out when it goes towards the center of my cheek. And I'm applying it and just tapping motions because I don't want to take off any of the product, especially in my more trouble areas, like right here. If I apply it in circular motions, it's going to rub off some of it. I'm also going to apply some contour in my temples. That way I have the appearance of a more oval, roundish, heart-shaped face. Something like that. If you have a smaller forehead like I do, I don't recommend applying anything above your forehead like some people do, because that's going to make your forehead seem even smaller, and the only thing that's going to pop to people is your eyebrows, and you don't want that. For my nose contour, I'm going to use the same shade, and first I'm going to take this flat brush and take in a very light amount, drawing a very light line, and very lightly between my brows. For the tip, I'm going to be making like a triangle shape and lightly soften the edges. That way it blends more easily together. And then I'm also going to apply just a little bit right over here to create that little button nose appearance. Now I'm going to be taking a fluffy blending brush and blending out the more harsh tones. Now I'm going to be taking the matte highlight shade in the palette and applying it only on the tip. I'm going to be using the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and I'm only going to be applying it lightly over my contour. I really don't want to make myself look too tan because I'm obviously a little pale. For the bronzer, I'm going to be using a fluffy angled brush, and I'm also going to lightly bronze my neck. I'm going to be moving on to my blush. I'm going to be using the Milani Romantic Rose Blush. And for the brush, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques, I think it's the contour brush. And I'm mainly concentrating the color on my cheeks and then lightly blending it out with my contour and bronzer. I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Light Bronzer Pearl palette, and I'm only going to be applying it right on the top of my cheekbone. Next, I'm going to be moving on to the lips. I'm first going to apply my chapstick. I'm just using my Nivea Cherry Lip Chapstick. For my lips, I'm going to be using the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Athens. For the last step, I'm going to be setting my face with a setting spray. I'm going to be using my Skindinavia oil-free spray. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought, or if any of you have tried it and what you think of it. I've also just recently started a new channel, so let me know what you guys think or what you guys would want to see in the future. I would love to hear all your comments and replies. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.